am so excited to be here. I'll give you a little bit more information about me in a second, but I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful to be able to meet in this way. I know we are going through such challenging times. It's like, you know, when will things go back to normal, or when will we be out of this sort of scariness, right? And so there's a lot of stuff coming up right now. I like to think of it as like we're in stormy times, metaphorically. And this storm seems to be lasting a long time. We're having like a lot of, how should I say this? Like aftershocks and after effects, right? Anyone else feel that way? Is it just me? Do we feel like, yes, okay, yes, wonderful. So it's not just me. And on top of that, I recently moved from New York City, where I lived for 16 years, to rural Oklahoma, where I am now. It was quite the life change. It was a very stormy time for me, and it brought up a lot of growth opportunity. And I will tell you, the practices that we're going to put into place today, I still use on a regular basis. I also, if you attend, did anyone come to the confidence workshop I led recently? Yes, I knew I recognized some of you. Hooray! So if you didn't, I believe it's on a replay for you to watch. If it's not, great, it is, great. So you can go watch that, but either way, I admitted in that I was not always the most confident person. And I shared like the 9 different facets of what really makes people ultimately confident. And this is how you actually get to that place. Like this work that we're doing today, it's this inner cleaning that we're talking about. Okay, enough. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to present my screen. Let me know if you can see this. Can everyone see this? Yes, great. Getting up all the things. Okay, so welcome. We are today talking about the Hurray House Method. This is something that I put into place with coaching clients one-on-one. I use it myself. It started as a simple metaphor. I decided to run with it. It has served me and other people in such big ways that I'm so pleased to give you a taste today. This is a whole method and community that I have now called the Hurray Clubhouse. If you want more information about that, just ask me. I have a free class that you can watch and get even a bigger taste of it, but you're getting a really like inside look at one of the cornerstone practices that we use in the method. So congratulations, Rise loves you and they're giving you this. So hooray, this is me and this is Vegas. So wherever you're tuning in from, congratulations, I'm glad you live there, but actually we're in Vegas today. And so a couple of rules apply in Vegas. 1, what happens here stays here. Safe space. Don't let anything out of here. We want to make sure this is a safe and cozy environment for other people to explore without being like, well, Julie said, or whatever, but also that it's safe for you. You feel safe and comfortable to explore within this space and share, or if we see something on the screen come up, we're not going to be like taking screenshots and sharing it someplace else. So what happens here stays here. This is also a judgment-free zone. Vegas, they do not judge you if you do something intense or crazy or whatever, right? Same thing here. And I mean of others and of you. I always use this really silly example, but it applies to other things. So if, for example, we're doing a guided meditation or a visualization and something comes up for you and or for someone else, right? Let's say I'm going to use the name Julie again. I don't know if there's a Julie here, but Julie is like, oh yeah, in my meditation, aliens came down and they were shooting marshmallows at each other, right? You drop the judgment, be like, Julie, I see this for you. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, Julie. But same thing for you. If something comes up in your meditation, try not to edit. Try not to judge that as like, ooh, that's not what I wanted, or ooh, that's weird, or aliens and marshmallows, funky. Let it be, let it come up. This is a safe place for exploration. Also, like in Vegas, you can have fun in here. We're doing some sacred work, y'all. We are doing some internal stuff that, I'm gonna be really honest, a lot of people do not have the courage to do. What we are doing is courageous. You might think that you're sitting at home or wherever you are on a Zoom call talking about your feelings today and that's it. What you are really doing is brave work looking at your inner life in order to clear up any misinformation so that you can show up in the world in a bigger way. Trust me, not everybody does that. So we're in a sacred space and it is okay to have some fun. Humor is sacred, fun is sacred. It's okay to do that. And also you can take risks. People gamble in Vegas. They're like, okay, let me put some money on this, right? Like, because they have hope that it might turn out a certain way. So take risks in here, gamble a little bit. This is a 1 hour dedicated to you doing something new and brave and different go with it. If something doesn't serve you, leave it. If you're like, that seems risky, but I'm going to try it, let's try it together. Okay? Hooray! Hooray. Yes! Hooray. I love it. I can only see some of you in the little square boxes on the side, so that's exciting that everyone in the boxes was like, yes, I hope everybody was. Okay, so who am I? Tammy already gave me a beautiful introduction. If you want to contact me, this is how to do it. It's just Hurray Kimmay at everything in the world. Instagram is my favorite. Please DM me. You can also email me if you want to talk about bras, if you want to talk about your body, if you want to talk about business, if you want to talk about, it all starts with a B, boys, if you want to talk about bananas, whatever. This is how you can get in touch with me so that we can discuss this further. I personally want to hear your biggest takeaway from this workshop. So if you DM me and you're like, this is what I took away, or this is what I realized, or this is what I am making an intention to follow through on, I want to hear that. So send me a DM, let me know. It's Hurray Kimmay on Instagram. In addition, so Tammy told all these lovely things about me. Bra fitter, marketer, consultant, content creator, TV personality. I just had my 5th appearance on the Rachel Ray Show. Coach, mentor, writer, all the things. I love doing all this and combining this into one. And truly, my experience in the bra fitting room is what's given me the purpose and the insight into what we're sharing today. I know that sounds a little strange, right? But when I witness people in the bra fitting room in a very intimate situation, look in the mirror, all these stories came up, all this stuff came up. And the way they were talking to themselves in the mirror was not serving them. It wasn't even true. Like, these were stories that they had bought into when they were young, or that society had entrusted them with in order to carry out for like the rest of their lives. But if we really examined, like, am I believing something that's even true about my body, about my worth, about who I am, about who I need to be in the world, about what makes me beautiful? And I don't just mean physically, even though that's a lot of stuff that came up, but I mean like whole being wise. And so that 15 years of seeing people undress in front of me, believe it or not, is how we ended up here today. Hooray. Here's just proof that I'm fancy. Me with Rachel, that was my first one with her. I love to tell this story too, because 10 years prior to this actual like segment on television, I was in that exact same studio with Martha Stewart over here. And I was 22 years old and I was terrified. And I also was not comfortable, and I was 22, but I wasn't comfortable being myself. And that's like people who are 55, 75, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter your age, right? And in this case, I was wearing, on Martha, a dress that wasn't even mine. It was like a $1,500 dress I was borrowing, shoes that were way too high for me to walk in, so that I had to carry them across the stage. And I was carrying around stories about who I had to be. I was faking it. I was like not showing up from the inside out, which we'll learn about in a minute. And I did so much work in that 10 years that when I walked across that same exact stage in a thrift store dress that I bought for like $15, I was such a different person. I was so much more prouder. It was a very similar experience as far as being on television, but how I felt and moved through it was completely different. You do not have to spend 10 years doing this work. We're going to do some in the next hour. So what is the Hurray House Method? Do we have any homeowners in here? Like, people actually own their home, or people who are in the process of paying off a mortgage to own their home? Type in the chat, because I can see that way better than I can see you doing this, because I can only see some of you. So let me know if we have any actual homeowners here. I am not a homeowner. I live in an apartment. I've lived in apartments pretty much my entire adult life. So you do not have to be a homeowner in order to understand this. Own your home, great. But it is sort of a concept of the happy homeowner, amazing, of the American dream, right? To like own your own home. So what if we thought of ourselves as home and we really took full ownership of who we are, of all the fix-it stuff? We really took ownership of that pride of like, I own this, I am this, and really like invited people in, took good care of it, like all of those things. Yeah. Woodstock girl. Yes. Amazing. This is sort of where this concept came from, of like home ownership. So in a nutshell, the Hurray House Method, I'm going to make this smaller so I can see everything. Okay. The Hurray House Method is both a process and a practice designed to help you build your life and then continue living it on a solid foundation of love, confidence, and power, so that you can make decisions based on truth and not misunderstandings, fears, or outside pressures. I inherited my family home 2 years ago. Isn't that interesting? Don't some of us inherit things and get things passed down in our lives, like genetically, but also like stories that we're holding on to, or like things we've learned from our family? Interesting. I love the metaphor. It can be used in many ways. So the purpose of the Hurray House metaphor and the method is to provide a framework for people to uncover their confidence, stand in their power, and learn to love themselves, so that, again, what's the point? They can be and bring their full authentic selves unapologetically to themselves, like really be with yourself, to your work, to your relationships, to the world. In other words, this is sort of self-development, self-care with the purpose of how can I show up? How can I go out there in the world? Not just do the stuff, but fully bring my whole self to it. Not just go on television, example, but actually like be myself, feel proud of this work, feel excited, feel like I'm me in this place and I'm not pretending to be something else, or I'm not striving, or I'm not worrying about what other people are going to think. The same thing is absolutely true in your relationships with your loved ones, in your work that you do, in the volunteer work that you do even. Like there's so many things that we can change by how we show up to it. I love this quote from Maya Angelou. The ache for home lives in all of us, the safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned. Now, in this example, she could have been talking about an actual physical home, like really feeling like you belong someplace. But in this example, I mean you and the space within you. Like, how hospitable is your inner life right now? Mine for a long time was not a safe or cozy place to be. I had so many thoughts that were swirling. I had negative emotions that I was not dealing with. I had lots of mean girl talk going on inside of me. Let me know if anyone else has ever been through this or maybe currently are dealing with this. And I also like didn't even notice it for a while. I had a lot of doors closed in my house where I was like, just not gonna go in there, just gonna like speed ahead and like pretend nothing's happening, and mostly just live on the outside and just make myself busy with work and make myself really wrapped up in this relationship and just look at all this stuff I'm doing out here, and going inside to be with myself felt overwhelming. It felt great. It felt really emotional. It felt like too much work. So why bother, right? Why even bother? Let's talk about that. So when I talk about inside out, I happen to believe that we have 3 categories of life that we get to like live in and update and deal with. And I want you to understand these concepts so we talk about why we go from the inside out. So inside means your inner life. It's your relationship with yourself, your thoughts and feelings, how you talk to yourself, and your connection to a divine or higher power and your faith and trust. To me, that can be anything for you, whatever that is. It could be God, it could be Jesus, it could be Buddha, it could be the universe, spirit guides, your intuition, like whatever that is for you, that's still included in your inner life. Then we have underneath, which we go from the inside to the underneath, and that's your physical body. Remember, I did a lot of work with this with people, and it's your relationship with your body and what's underneath your clothes. So of course, bras and undergarments are included in this one. That's where I spent a lot of time supporting people and where I still find a lot of opportunities for self-love. If you want a self-love ritual with lingerie, and by lingerie, I mean your everyday bra from Target, whatever, shoot me a DM. I will send you a blog post or a video on that. It is super, super, super powerful to start your day in a way that is like, instead of like, if I have to, instead going, okay, how do I want to feel today? How do I want to adorn and support myself today? It will change your life. Okay, then outside, everything outside of you. So your relationship with the world around you, your work, other people, how you look and present yourself to others, and your appearance. This is where everybody starts when they want to make a change in their life. They're like, cool, cool, cool. Let me cut my hair. Let me change my job. Let me change the boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever. And then they make all these outside changes, but the inside is still unchanged. So the metaphor of the house and its surrounding items help us more easily understand the complex concepts of what is going on inside and around us. Sort of a safe way to explore your inner life instead of this really meta way. It's like we use this metaphorical idea And have fun. I think it's fun to like really go inside and see what's up, see what needs some maintenance, see what rooms need some cleaning out, see which rooms I want to make a little more me or a little more cozy. Did I inherit this house or this thought and way of thinking? And it's decorated like my mom's house. And I want to, no offense to moms are great, but like maybe I've held on to an idea of what a woman or a wife or a mother needs to look like based on my mom. And I haven't really owned it myself. I didn't really decorate that part of my life myself. An example. Again, do not have to be an actual homeowner to understand these concepts, and you can use the general concepts and metaphors here as a guide, and ultimately how the metaphor unfolds is up to you. I love this because people come up with ideas that I never even thought about. I'm like, what? That makes so much, the light switch is your energy that you're giving to people, right? Like, so take it and make it your own. Okay, I'm gonna breeze through these so quick. I have an entire community devoted to working through this in a method, a course. So if you want to go deeper, please just let me know. Happy to give you some information on that. But for today's purposes, we're going to breeze through these. So the ground where your house lives, that is your values, your purpose, your vision, and your why. Again, no one starts here. Everybody starts with how the house looks and what the house is doing, what we're doing outside of the house. We have to figure this part out first so that we know why we do anything. This is the most important part of this entire method. Then the foundation of your home is your self-image, your faith, your trust, and really like how you talk to yourself. So this is where your core beliefs are. This is what everything else in your house is built on. This is like what I believe about myself. We talk about foundation repairs in the Hurray Clubhouse, and sometimes we have these misbeliefs that we've bought into about who I am, and we lovingly repair those and fill in the cracks with some gold and repair that part of our being. Then the rooms within are your areas of your life. It's pretty up for however you want to work through it. The stuff in your home are thoughts and feelings. This is like your inner emotional life. And by stuff, we have no judgment on it being good or bad. It's just stuff. This is your inside stuff. Then we also have actions, which could be out in the world. And that can also be stuff, like we're hanging stuff out for everybody to see. Then we have the frame of the house, which is your body. That is the underneath area of your life. Then we have the exterior, which is your appearance, and that is outside. Then the yard and the garden in this metaphor are projects and relationships in the world. So again, that same ground that your house lives on, what you do in the world is what you grow, right? And so I don't just mean work, so we'll get to that in a second, but I mean your relationships with other people are like blooming flowers. Your volunteer work, the choir that you sing in, which no one can sing in a choir right now, but the choir that you sing in, right? The sort of beauty that you're putting into the world, or the stuff that's going on outside the world, things that you're planting, that's what this is. And then the tree in your yard is your business and your work in the world. This is such an, if anyone here is feeling stressed about their work right now because things are so different, I just want, for whoever needs to hear this, maybe someone needs to hear this right now, I just want you to know you are not your business. You are not your job. You are not your work in the world. I could cry saying this. That is on the same ground. It is definitely based in who you are and what you believe, maybe, but it is not the house. And so there might be a time when you either need to prune the tree or even cut down the tree, honestly, for the safety of the house. And if this over here doesn't go as planned, your house is still good. Whoever needs to hear that, there it is. So that's the full picture. That's the briefest run through I can do so that we can actually get to some work today. So outside in work, again, cut the hair, change the job, different boyfriend. When you work from the outside in, eventually you wind up in the same place over and over again. And your house remains the same where it really matters. When you come home to yourself, no matter what you did out in the world today, when you come home to yourself and you are sitting there with yourself at night and your thoughts are swirling, you're gonna have that same story run through your head that I'm not enough, I didn't do it right, I hope they like me, whatever. Maybe for you, that was me. Then there's inside out. This is when you work from the inside out, you build a foundation of values, vision, and self-love. And you always feel at home in who you are and what you're about. So if the business doesn't go as planned, I'm still good here. If the relationship with the guy or the girl doesn't go as planned, I'm still good here. But more importantly, if things do go well, I'm not defined by that. And so if it ever changes or things, end up being different later, I'm still good here. And more importantly, if things are going well out there, I can come home and enjoy it because I've done the work in here. And I know when I go to bed at night, I can go, yeah, so proud of myself for doing that work. I'm so excited that I actually, did that out there from in here. I'm getting a little heavy, but you'll see what I mean. Okay. So this is, again, a common concept that people talk about. Lots of people teach this sort of thing, and they teach it in a slightly different way. I'm going to tell you how I believe the thought cycle works. So I like to think of thoughts like dust. They just exist. They just are. Our head thinks. Tell me if you knew this or not. I found this out, and I was like, what? Our head thinks like tens of thousands of thoughts a day. Tens of thousands of thoughts. So if you think of that as dust, like dust just exists. It just is. It just happens. So thoughts just happen. Our brain is working all the time. So a thought arises. Okay. But then it triggers a belief. Then that belief might be something like, I'm going to make something up on the spot. I believe that I need to work really hard in order to earn someone's love and approval. And that if I don't have their approval, then I'm not good enough. That's a really common one. And you might even know that not even know you have the belief. What you might recognize is the feeling. So the belief triggers a feeling, and the feeling might be something like, I feel scared and nervous, or I feel upset, or I feel angry, or I feel whatever, right? Then that feeling triggers an action that you do out in the world, and then a result. And that result is just going to reinforce this belief. Well, of course, she didn't like me because I did it wrong. And so I'm going to believe if I do things wrong, they're not going to like me. And we go in this cycle again and again and again. This concept is so important to recognize. Maybe some of you know something similar to this. But the reason it's so important to think about in the Hurray House metaphor is because these two things are all outside. And the action, behavior, and the results are what most people are trying to change. They want to stop, they want to stop trigger warning for people who have a strenuous relationship with food. But a lot of times we will eat or drink a lot in order to cover up a feeling. So that's an action, right? Or we'll work really hard to ignore the stuff. And so they want to change that. They're like, I want to stop binge eating. I want to stop being a workaholic. I want to spend time with my family, right? So they'll try to change the action. What we really do is we work from the inside out with these things here, the belief and the feeling. And usually we can identify the feeling a lot more than the belief. I can sort of access, how do I feel right now? And then ask myself, okay, well, what's the belief underneath? What is the belief that got me to this feeling? And then we work on the belief. This is where the magic happens. Redoing the belief, redeciding, asking yourself, is that belief even true? Am I buying into something that is outdated? Almost like, am I wearing a sweater that doesn't even fit anymore? Do I have a clock in this room in my house that doesn't even work, and I'm still trying to read the time from it? Like, there are things in our metaphorical house that are outdated, do not work anymore, maybe served us at one point, and now we have the decision of, do I want to buy into this still, or do I want to go into a new cycle with a new belief, and then reinforce that with results? That's what we're doing today. Here's an example. So affirmation versus validation we talked about in the last workshop. I'm going to say it again. I cannot say this enough. Validation is looking to others to validate your belief. Something about you, something about who you are, something about, am I good enough? Did I do a good job? Do I look good? And letting someone else make the decision about who you are or what you should do. Girl, no. So this would be an example in the metaphor. Someone comes by your house and they throw eggs at it. They're like, ew, this house is ugly, man. This is a troll online. This is your, no offense to mother-in-laws. This is your mother-in-law being like, are you sure that you should be wearing that? Whatever, right? And so there's an egg thrown at you. Now, if you're looking for validation, you're gonna believe that story to be true from them. And you're gonna let those eggs sit there, ruin your house, mess it up, even feel like it might topple your house over because your foundation isn't strong enough. No good. We want affirmation. So affirmation is accepting from others only what you know to be true. This is so key because when people say affirmations to themselves and they're like, I'm the best piano player in the whole world. If you don't believe that, your brain's gonna be like, okay, but not really, like, not really the best piano player in the whole world, right? So it's like important to choose an affirmation if you're gonna work with affirmations, or if you're looking for affirmation of something that you already know to be true. Now, this could be just opening up the language and saying, I am open to one day becoming the best piano player in the whole world, right? Or I am open to seeing my beauty. Or I am learning to value myself more and more each day. Opening up that language really helps us, but also those firm building blocks, I call them I am building blocks in the Hurray House Method, of who you are. You can always come back to those the like foundation of who you are, of I am loved, I'm divinely created, I am miraculous, whatever it is for you. So this offers for you to stand in your own truth and deep inner knowing, no matter what goes on outside of you. Now, again, eggs for sure, but also praise. So if someone comes by your house and says, oh my gosh, your house is so beautiful, I want to put it in a magazine. You can say to that person, hey, thank you so much for seeing this. And you don't even know what's going on inside of here. Like, I agree with you. My house is beautiful. And I thank you so much for seeing that beauty. But also, like, even if you didn't come by, I would still already know that to be true about me. That's the key. So we're in stormy situation outside of us. Maybe your business or your work right now is suffering or struggling. Maybe things are not as cheery as you would like them to be in the world. It's okay. We're going to work from the inside out today. We're going to look at some beliefs that are going on within you. We're going to take a little visual, guided visualization, exploration into your house, give you a little taste of how this works, and go from there. I want to go over these. We don't have time. There's more stuff I want to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about this really briefly. So there's another idea that we call the emotions closet in the Hurray House Method. I was this person. I would take my feelings that would come up and I would stuff them into the closet on a regular basis. I didn't want to deal with them. I was too busy. I had productive things to do in New York City. I was a businesswoman. I got stuff to do. And so I would take them and I would stuff them into the closet or shove them under the rug, right? Be like, I'll just deal with this later. Just like, yeah, oh, feelings, sure, whatever. Oh, she said that about me, whatever, I don't even care. And I just put it under the rug, stuff it in the closet. The issue with that is that just like clothes or other stuff, the more you do that over and over and over again with feelings, good or bad even, like no judgment on feelings, but like positive or negative feelings too. Like I wouldn't even have time to feel joy. I was like, I don't have time for this. I've got stuff to do. I'm important. I'd even look for new storage solutions too. Like, oh, I'll just put this in this area of my life, whatever. But eventually what happens is they come back. Now, why do we even store them in the first place? Because we might believe that emotions are unhelpful, inconvenient, scary, or overwhelming, in the way, or shameful. I definitely shamed myself for even having emotions in the first place, or having them come up in a public situation. I was like, oh no, stuff away, stuff away, stuff away. And then I wouldn't unpack it later. I just let it sit there. If this is you, you are not alone. I did this all the time. But guess what? One day, it would come raining down on me from the closet. And I laugh now, but I would spend an entire day just in my feelings. Eventually that stuff will come up unless we lovingly work through it. By the way, storing emotions can lead to overwhelm, emotional roller coaster, snapping, my poor husband, eating your feelings, anxiety, illness, numbing. I have a whole bunch of quotes and scientific things on illness in the body caused by not releasing emotions. I'm not going to go over it now. I'm not actually a doctor. But this is such a beautiful opportunity to release, to honor, to actually look and deal with the stuff. If you're a fan of anybody here a KonMari method person? Like, have you ever read the tidying up book? She talks about, instead of just storing stuff away, One by one, you take every single thing out and you hold it. You deal with it. You look at it. And then you ask, does this spark joy? For me, it's, is this serving my hooray? And by hooray, I mean your fulfillment in your life, your version of success. All emotions, even those that are suppressed and unexpressed, have physical effects. Unexpressed emotions tend to stay in the body like small ticking time bombs. They are illnesses and incubation. It was true for me, for sure. So what do we do? What do we do instead? Now we've learned, oh great, all my emotions are stuck in my closet. What do I do with this? So I call this emotional cleaning. And having the right tools and practices to do the regular daily cleaning is instrumental for our emotional health and happiness. Now, I'm not saying that there's deeper cleaning stuff that we can do, but even the little stuff on a daily basis, the regular dust that comes up, the like, does this include, sorry, I'm thinking because I'm just reading someone, does it spark joy? Keep, yes, if something sparks joy for you, a hooray in your life, yes, keep it, great. I want to decorate my life, my inner life with those thoughts, with those things. But if it doesn't, if it's not serving me, if it's getting in the way, if I'm tripping over it, if it's compiling down on me, does not serve me. So again, back to the inner, the cycle, right, with beliefs, this is the part we're cleaning out here. This is the part we're clearing. So that way we can make a new decision and go in a totally different spiral than we were before. Big warning, do you wish someone else would do the cleaning for you? No judgment if you have a cleaning person that comes in, no judgment if you have your kids do this cleaning in your house, like whatever. I had a cleaning person and I had a 450 square foot apartment in New York City because I hated cleaning so much, right? But this kind of work, this inner work, you can't outsource. Now, you can get support to do it. You can get professional one-on-one support. You can work with a therapist or a coach. You can go on a retreat. You can do workshops like this. You can learn. You can read a self-help book for sure. But as far as actually doing the work and doing the cleaning, that is all up to you. So learn when to DIY and when to get support from experts. And do not, either way, even if you're working with a therapist or a coach, you still need to do this stuff. And even like what we're doing today, this is light housekeeping that you can do on a regular basis. And a reminder that quick fixes do not last. So what we're doing today is a one-time thing. Take this and make it a practice. Whether it's in your Rise membership, whether it's with me in the Hurray Clubhouse, like doing work like this on a regular basis, just like the daily cleaning that you do in your house, hopefully, is how you create that cozy atmosphere for you to feel at home in who you are, to go out in the world and get stuff done. Okay, so in the Hurray House Method, FYI, we have a 4-part framework. We do intention, foundation, renovation, expansion. We're actually just gonna look at the renovation step briefly today with what I call ERC. So ERC stands for eliminate, redecorate, and celebrate. I told you this can be fun, right? Celebrate. So the eliminate part is where we lovingly take a look at what is no longer serving us, what is not true, hold it in our hands, take it out from the closet or from under the rug and say, okay, let's deal with this belief. Is this belief something I bought into when I was young and it served me for a while, and now as a woman in my 30s, 40s, 50s, I'm like, this is no longer true. I don't have to work my butt off in order to prove I'm a good worker and to earn someone's respect and love. I don't have to do that. I might have learned that hard work was important when I was little, but now it's spun into a different cycle that's no longer serving me, for example. And so we lovingly let go of that. We eliminate it. We take it out. Then we redecorate. So if that's not true, if what I just recognized was, gosh, I'm buying into a misbelief or a misunderstanding from when I was young, then I can redecorate with the truth. The truth is, for example, I'm not defined by my work. My productivity is not who I am. Yeah, Tammy, I hear you on that. She says, I'm familiar with that old story. Yes, me too. And again, there's nothing wrong with hard work, but defining my worth on it, deciding that I am or am not worthy of rest based on it, wasn't serving me. And so the truth is, it's okay for me to rest. I am a good worker, whether I work 20 hours or 60 hours. I'm still whole. I'm still a good person. And my value is not defined by my productivity. And then we celebrate. Celebrate could be anything. There's so many different modalities and techniques. We're gonna practice one today of doing an ERC cycle. In this particular case, in my favorite, simplest form of celebration is gratitude. It's to say, gosh, I'm so thankful for this learning. I'm so thankful for my ability to do this. I'm so thankful that I took the time to even clear out this misbelief and to stand firm in the foundation of who I am. And I'm just gonna love on myself, some dance, right? My productivity is not my worth. It's okay to rest. Love you, yes. So if you've ever said, I'm a mess, I wanna be clear here. What we're talking about is not that you are a mess or you are messed up or something is wrong with you. What we're talking about is that maybe some emotional, energetic mess has come up in your life and in your thoughts, because thoughts are like dust, and they're just getting in the way of you saying hooray. You're tripping over it because it's swept into the rug, or you're opening up the closet and it's coming down on you. So we just want to look at the things that are no longer serving you or no longer true. That's the mess we're talking about, not who you are. We're not going to ever clear out the foundation of the home. Foundation's good. It's there to stay. We're just looking at the mess that's within. We're going to bless the mess and lovingly learn to clear it out, the old understandings, the misunderstandings, the fears, the shoulds. I love it when people are just shoulding all over themselves from the different rooms of your life. You are the house. We're going to shine from the inside out. Let's explore. Woo! Okay, I feel like I was like breezing through this so that we could get to this actual practice part, which is the good part. So I wonder if anyone has had something come up in them already that they're like, oh, that's a misunderstanding. That's an emotional mess. That's a misbelief that I've had. Even just within this. I know Tammy shared hers where she said that she had an old story of my productivity defines my worth. Anyone else have some words they can put to stories that have come up for them? While you are sharing that in the chat, you can also journal about this right now, but while you're sharing about that in the chat, I'm gonna get some music ready for us. I'm gonna stop sharing this and get the music ready. If you think about what you really want in life, the goals you have, the relationships you want, an area of your life, is there something that's getting in the way? Lots of resonance in the what is given to us. Interesting. Passed down. Yeah. Passed. Passed down. Yeah, you know, sometimes we have antiques in our house from other people, from old things. I'm going to be really honest and say that we also have antiques from old structures in our culture and our society that are outdated, that really are not truly serving us in who we are anymore. And, you know, we're all, from the looks of it, so I don't want to make any assumptions, women here, and there are certain things within our culture that do not serve us, and stories that we've bought into simply because that's how things worked. And so for me, it was, I have to look a certain way to be valuable. I have to keep my voice small so that I can be likable. Because the story I had is I'm too much, I'm too dramatic, I'm too vocal. Yeah, I see people laughing. Yeah, I'm just too much. But at the same time, I wasn't enough. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't sexy enough. I was too sexy. I was too whatever. Like, there's just no way to win, right? And so I had bought into those beliefs thinking, well, that's how I'll win this game, right? Is if I play by the rules. And so I had all these rules in place. And one of my favorite steps in the Hurray House Method is rewriting the rules. So we're going to rewrite a little rule today. So if something hasn't come up for you yet, that's okay. We're going to explore together. Those for me feel most challenging to eliminate. They continue to reveal themselves in each age. Yes, that's why this is a process. Hooray. Thank you for saying that. You don't just like renovate a room in your house and like, done. Times change. Your style changes. Stuff updates. You have different occupants in your house. Like, stuff happens. And so we redecorate and renovate on a regular basis. It's a cycle over and over again. That's why this kind of regular work is so important. I have beliefs about myself and my body that no longer support and serve me. Yes, girl. I'm too old to get a new job and I'm not smart enough. Woo! Anyone else feel that in their body for a second there? I so hear you on this. And again, this is so important for you to recognize as a misbelief, as a misunderstanding about who you are, where your value is, what you're capable of. There are definitely outside factors who might actually agree with that. And that's up to them. They're outside. That's them with the eggs. You get to decide what happens in your house and how you feel with who you are, and then how you bring that feeling and that confidence into the world. And that will change things. If you go up to an egg thrower and you say, hey, it's not okay that you do that. And more importantly, I can do this job, and I'm going to try something new. And if I fail at it, I fail at it. But I want you to know, I'm going to give this a shot. I guarantee you those egg throwers are going to be like, nah, eggs. They're going to be like, okay, girl, all right, let's see what happens here. Full body chills. Yes, hooray. Okay, and now I'm just spending time talking and we're not exploring. Let's explore. So let me get if you want to get cozy wherever you are, you can sit for this. You can lay down for this. I just want you to let your body be able to be open and relaxed so that your mind can go on this little brief journey with us. And we'll do some guided visualization. If you are new to visualization, I bet most people here are probably practicing it because you're Rise ladies. But if you're new to this and you're like, I can't visualize, most people can. Some people can't. Most people can. And if when you close your eyes, you can think about what your kitchen looks like right now. And you can see the knobs on the stove. You can see the microwave maybe. You can see the blender. If you can see that in your mind, you can visualize. It's that simple. We don't have to make it complicated or too woo-woo, really, honestly. It's just, where does my brain go when this comes up? So sit where you are, get cozy. I'm going to put a little bit of music on for us because music really helps me get into the mood. And then we'll come back and dance a little bit. Just soft music. I hope you can hear that and still hear me. Yes, great. So just get cozy and comfortable. I see some of you already have your eyes closed. Great. If you feel like you might fall asleep, it's a good idea to sit up, but no judgment. We need rest as well. And let's just take some breaths here, in and out, on your own time. Deep into the belly. Prepare this body for exploration. Prepare your mind and heart for exploration. This is an opportunity for you to let go of any judgment, any worries, any shoulds. Start to deepen your breaths. Welcome in that breath. Prepare your mind and your heart to go on this journey. This is also a great time to welcome in any guidance. That could be a higher power, your intuition, spirit guide. In your own way, just welcome them in here. It might be the simplest prayer is just, please be with me. So with that guidance here, knowing that that guidance is really here for your highest good, knowing that whatever comes up is for your learning, knowing that you are safe and at any time you can come up, let's go on the journey. So I want you to imagine that you're walking on a beautiful yard. Maybe you're barefoot, you can can feel the soft grass beneath your feet. Maybe you can feel the sunshine has just kissed the grass. You can feel that energy in your feet. What if this grass, this ground, was infused with all of the values that are important to you? Your why, your mission on this earth are all right here at your feet. With each step that you take, let that value, that mission, that why in life infuse right up through the base of your feet to your whole body, so that you are a woman walking on a mission. The next step that you take, can you reveal what maybe a value is to you? Don't overthink this. Let whatever comes up, come up. But the next step that you take, what is something that is so important to you that you want it to infuse your whole being? Breathe here. There's no wrong or right answer. Whatever's coming up, take that with you. And I lovingly invite you to take a turn around maybe and see a house before you. Maybe it's a small house, maybe it's a big one. Maybe it's ornate, maybe it's simple. No judgment, just take it in. I invite you to enter this house. This is an invitation for inner exploration. This is you taking a step, knowing that whatever you meet in here is yours, is here for you, is here for your learning and your growth. So if you are willing, take a step inside of that house and start to explore around. Just get familiar with what's inside. And if you're not ready to do that, that's okay. Sit out on the front porch and take a breather. Deep breaths here. Keep breathing. Just be curious, explore. Perhaps the guidance that you called in is pulling you, guiding you, asking you to go to a certain area of this house, a certain room. You know, deep down, that there is an area of your life that could use some cleaning. That maybe if you kept the door closed or that wing of the house closed off, that you could still get along. But that exploring here would really serve you and others. So take some deep breaths here, relax your body, and use some courage to open up the door of that room, of that part of your life. With that guidance right there with you, see if you can find It might be right out there in the open. It might be tucked away in a closet. If you can find some kind of belief, misjudgment, misunderstanding that has been causing some mess in this room, breathe here. Can you lovingly take a look at this mess and see what belief there is there that is no longer serving you? Be so gentle with yourself as you do this.
Light is calling you, light is
and see if
me.
you were to think of yourself as a 5-year-old version of you with that same misbelief, that same misjudgment, and they came to you and said, I have to work hard or I'm not enough. I have to look a certain way to be loved. What would you say to her? How would you reassure her? Can you forgive her for buying into that misbelief, that misunderstanding? She's so little, she just misunderstood. Keep breathing.
Joy is calling you, joy it is calling me, joy is calling us to eternity. When you hear it,
what would you tell her instead? If she misunderstood, what is the truth?
Joy has come, joy it has come, joy has come.
Whatever has come up, can you honor it for what it is? Can you see that it's here to support you? In some small way, can you thank this young version of you? Can you thank the current version of you for being brave and courageous enough to even go on this exploration?
Love is calling you, love it is calling.
Can you thank your guidance?
Love is calling us to eternity. When you hear it call, it is therefore.
In whatever came up as the truth, that you want to remind that young version of you, I want you to hold on to that, almost like you're wrapping it around your body, like you can feel it in current day you, of what is really true. I invite you to start deepening your breath, coming back into our current room, into your current body. As you're coming up and coming out, I just want to give you a minute here to breathe into this if you need to write something down. But one of my favorite things to do at the end of an exploration like this is maybe we forgave ourselves for a misunderstanding and we stood in the truth. That's like the E and the R. But we can never forget the C of the ERC cycle. If you eliminate something and you replace it or redecorate something there, time to celebrate. So wherever you are, Whether you want to lay on the floor still and just feel this, or whether you want to get up and get this into your physical body. We just did a lot of inner work, right? Inside stuff. We're a minute over, and I still think it's worth it. I want to invite you to jam a little bit. This is your opportunity to take that truth or a truth that you want to infuse into your body
Mirror, mirror,
and feel it.
don't say it 'cause I know I'm
Yes, there she goes.
Louis down to my drawers,
You can
LV
sit,
on
yes,
my
you can
shoes.
stand.
I be dripping,
You
summer
can
sauce,
body
got a
roll.
bit
You
of
can get your dog involved.
Lit up like a crystal ball. That's cool, baby. So is you. That's how I roll. If I'm shining, everybody gonna shine.
With every step you take and move you're making right now, I want you to say out loud in your mind.
Better over time.
That's great.
They just say
I'll give you
I'm
a
not
few
the
examples.
baddest bitch you like. It ain't my fault that I'm out here getting loose. Gotta blame it on the goose. Gotta blame it on my juice, baby. It ain't my fault that I'm out here making news. I'm the put it in the proof. Gotta blame it on my juice. Yeah, 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 yeah. Blame it on my juice. Blame it on my juice. Yeah, 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 yeah.
You can hear that 5-year-old girl feeling it, girl.
Blame it on my juice, baby. No, I'm not a snack at all. Look, baby, I'm the whole damn meal. David, you ain't being slick. Don't dare try to cop a feel. If the juice ain't worth the squeeze, if the juice don't look like this. Hold up, nigga, please, don't make me have to take your bitch. Shit. If I'm shining, everybody gonna shine. I was born like this, don't even gotta try. I like shot a nigga better over time. Heard you say I'm not the baddest bitch you like. It ain't my fault that I'm out here getting loose. Gotta blame it on the goose. Gotta blame it on my juice, baby. It ain't my fault that I'm out here making news. I'm the put it in the proof. Gotta blame it on my juice. Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right. Yes. Listen, that was a brief and abbreviated version of this, but I just want you to thank yourself, right? You just like warmed up your body and your heart a little bit. Take your hands, rub them together right now, get that heart energy, and just take those hands and wrap them around yourself. Like self-hug, self-love, to the extent that you were able to today, right? Maybe it's Saturday and you're still feeling groggy. Maybe it's July and you're still feeling COVID, craziness. Whatever. However you were able to show up to yourself today, I just want you to celebrate that. So a little self-hug, a nice little squeeze, a nice little smile on your face, a deep breath in and out, and a hooray.